And now, your 23 sports ticket.
It wasn't that long ago that Vidarian Lowe was dominating here on the football field at Auburn High School. But in the blink of an eye, he went from a man amongst boys to the man of the house. But at Pine Tum, the laps go on and on and on and on until the clock runs out or until your mind gives out. From Husky to Bear to Orange, everywhere. Harlem alum and Syracuse grad Joshua Black is one of 36 invitees to this weekend's rookie minicamp here at Hallis Hall, where he hopes to impress the coaches and become a Chicago Bear. And before we get into tonight's game, let's look back at Wednesday night, game one, a 2-1 win for the Ice Hogs, and all week it was youth. But the youngest player on the roster, 19-year-old Lucas Reichel, gets that opening goal. What does that do for confidence for this team?
Tell you what, it injects even more energy.
We already have some tremendous excitement right here at the high jump pit, where Guilford's Zariah Burnett, just a freshman, has not only set a new Guilford school record, but she now has the Nick 10 conference record. A fun one here. You can listen to Mike on the call here at 7, but it should be a raucous one as well, as the playoff towels have also come out to play here. We are bringing to you the first ever toys for the holidays presented by 23 WIFR. And oh, do I see some troublemakers coming in here. It's been a wonderful outing so far. The toys are piling up. Just an incredible spread here at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. That's right, Zoe. We are at the intersection of 2nd Avenue and 6th Street here at the City of Rockford election office, where people still have until 7 p.m. to get their votes in for those races like you were talking about. Now let's start to dig into them. Well, Kaylee, what's going on is perhaps the biggest movie weekend of the year. We're not talking Oppenheimer. We're not talking Barbie. We're not even talking Tom Cruise and the new Mission Impossible. We're talking about Friday Night Flicks, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and did I mention some free t-shirts to give away as well? The first one you should keep your eye on, it'll roll around on noon on Saturday as St. Louis takes on the Tennessee Volunteers in Knoxville. Now, St. Louis, their first ever NCAA tournament appearance. This program's been around since the 70s, and this team features the star-studded capabilities of Boylan grad Peyton Kennedy. She had a fantastic game coming off the bench against UMass in the Atlantic 10 championship game, which got them into the tournament. That one went to overtime. Kennedy, 40 minutes, even though it was off the bench, 15 points for her. A really, really solid outing. Rockford native Fred Van Vliet had the chance to be taken in the second round, but turned down every offer and opted to go undrafted to put more control in his hands. And later that night, he tweeted out this: "Bet on yourself." Well, returning to the present after an NBA title and an All-Star appearance, Fred chose to bet on himself yet again by turning down a $22 million player option and becoming an unrestricted free agent. And the bet paid off, as the former Auburn Knight is the first undrafted player ever to earn a $100 million contract in the NBA. Later this week, Orangeville's Tessa Janicki will make her debut with USA Hockey's senior national team as they face off against Canada in a 2-game series, and the 18-year-old will be the youngest member on the roster. On the other end of the spectrum, 33-year-old Olympic gold medalist Hillary Knight will be the team's oldest player. And despite the nearly 15-year age difference between Janicki and Knight, you'd be surprised about how far back the two go. All the way back to when 6-year-old Tessa got to meet Knight when she was still with the Badgers at the University of Wisconsin. But even with playing alongside one of her idols, Janicki is ready for her moment. And then a handful of plays later, America runs on Dunker. Gage Dunker gets the party going. Lee went up 8-0 in the first quarter. Dunker with over 1,300 rushing yards entering this one. And boy, can Dunker do it all. Ensuing CPC drive, and Dunker with the interception. Take another look. A diving play to get the turnover there. And Lee Wynn capitalizing, and guess who? It's Dunker once again making reservations for 6. In the third quarter, Jaden Mangrum hits a huge shot to put the G-Vikes up 37-30, entering the final 8 minutes of this one. But here come the Knights. Amir Danforth slings it to Rakim Cheney for 3. That closes the 7-point gap in just 2 minutes time, as we're tied at 37 with 6 to play. Crunch time now. Adrian Agee going from Paris to London on the Euro step, and the finish. That gives Auburn a 2-point lead with less than 5 minutes to go. To the second set now. Set point Knights at 25-24, but Lily Mueller with the force of 1,000 burning suns. We aren't done yet. Next point, 25 all. Mia Wise on the serve, and she gets the Cogs their only ace of the day as the defense breaks down. Let's head to championship point. Hello, Mr. Cog.
In school, I wasn't always the best, best at getting to school, best at staying in class, but wrestling has really given me a reason to turn things around, and I have been.
But Martinez said during the season, LeBeau decided to put his best foot forward and dedicate his final high school season to one of his biggest fans.
The year before I didn't compete, I lost my grandpa, and he was a big fan of my wrestling, and so I wrote it on my shoes. I wrote "Long Live My Grandpa," and then I told myself I was going to dedicate everything I do this season to him. I'm gonna go out and I'm going to go my hardest for him. I know they're watching down on me, and I know I made them proud.
And LeBeau will be making an impact during Black History Month, no less, becoming the program's first ever black wrestler to represent Belvedere at the state tournament.
I don't even have words to explain how happy I am to be able to hold that position. It's crazy. All I knew I was trying to do is I was just trying to make it to the next level, trying to go to state. And the next thing you know, I'm hearing about all this, and it's the support that everyone's giving me, how I could be able to represent. I'm glad I could give that to Belvedere.
I came in with really high expectations. It was very naive of me.
When Rick Durso took over the boys cross country program 6 years ago, things weren't the greatest.
It was, it was bleak. We struggled to finish, to not be in last place in the conference meet. We struggled to get kids out.
But over time, the narrative around Guilford cross country began to change.
I think we're just tired of being the bottom school, and we're just really working to be the top one, and we're showing that we can be.
Earlier this year, the boys team won the Nick 10 for the first time in 18 years and are heading to state for the first time since 2004 as well. The climb hasn't been easy for a school in an area that isn't too runner friendly.
We live in a concrete jungle, and it's very, frustrating is not the right word, but it's, I envy the teams that can just run across the street and be in a forest preserve. We're very fortunate in this area that we have, Rock Cut and some other places, but it sounds simple, but it's not so simple to grab 40 kids and bring them to a location after school.
According to Law and Love, Rockford ranks as one of the worst cities in America for runners, coming in 163rd place out of 181 locations.
We have 3 routes that we stick with around here, and it gets old. Come October, the kids are sick of me saying, let's go run the loop. Let's get out of this, go donut shop and back.
Although the limited running options haven't slowed the team down.
We're just more hungry than other schools to be better, and the drive to get better is higher for us.
It's another practice for State Line Fury softball as they close out their season, hoping to end their summer on a high note at the PGF Midwest Regional Championships in Peoria. And while winning would be nice, it's not the top priority.
I don't care if we win a game all year. It's not about wins and losses. It's about teaching the girls the right mechanics and fundamentals and learning how to play the game right.
Well, that's what it was like when we introduced you to the Fury 05 team back in 2016 when the players were in the 10 and under level, as the same group now gears up for their final tournament as a team at the 18 and under level this week.
I wouldn't change it for the world if I had to. If anyone asked me if I'd do anything different, I definitely wouldn't do anything different.
Since the team won Midwest Nationals in 2016, the group has won over 70% of its 808 games, which included 33 tournament titles and 18 runner-up finishes.
Not even just the wins, but creating this environment and family and just positive vibe all around. Just getting to be here every Saturday morning for a practice is just as special as being on the field.
The new baby motivating Vidarian to make it to the league one day.
Whenever I had King, that was when I was like, okay, I want to play football. This is what I want to do.
Then life threw another surprise at the young family.
She was a great woman. She could sing. I really loved that about her. She was a great woman.
Just 2 months after the birth of King, Vidarian's mother passed away due to an enlarged heart, leaving Vidarian's middle school-aged brother, Vidalis, without a place to call home. After Vidalis spent a short time living with and taking care of his aging grandmother, Vidarian knew he had to step in.
That just wasn't the life, that I thought 11 or 12-year-olds should have. So he came and stayed with us for a family vacation that me and Haley went on with her family. And then, while he was here in our care, we decided that it was just best for him to stay with us.